Good morning, dear students. Today we are here for our first video class, and today we are going to discuss about the first chapter of geography, our environment, natural and human. In this chapter, mainly we shall be dealing with the concept environment, the different types of environment, what is the importance of environment, why we should study environment, why we should protect our environment, we as human beings, what is our influence on the environment, and we are going to discuss about the different spheres or the different zones of the environment and their importance. First of all, what is environment? Literally, it means our surroundings or conditions under which a person or a particular thing develops his or its characteristics. For example, if we will take camel, it's an animal which is found in the desert. Again, if we will take the example of yak, that is also one animal, but it is not found in the hot deserts, it is found only in the cold deserts. Like as you can see in the pictures, you can see the camel is standing in the desert, and in the surrounding everywhere you can see only sand. But if we will see the picture of the yak, it is standing on a grassland, everywhere you can see grasses. So that is different environment needed for different types of animals. It is the same with the plants also. If you see pine tree, it is found only in the higher altitudes. Like here at Hapoli in Arunachal Pradesh, we are in the high altitudes. It's a cold region. Here pine tree is available. But if you go to the deserts, there you will find different types of thorny plants like cactus. You can see from the picture. Environment can be classified into mainly two types. One is natural environment, another one is biological environment. Natural environment, it is a sum total of all inorganic things like land, water, air, this all. It provides the earth with all the favorable conditions for the existence of life. And if we will see about biological environment is a sum total of all the living things like plants and animals, and mainly they provide us food. As we came to know about environment and its classification, now it is time to know why we should study natural environment. As we all know, our life is directly connected with the nature. Maximum of our things, directly or indirectly, we are getting from the nature. So we should know about natural environment. For example, we need air to breathe in, we need water to drink, we need land to make our settlements, and all these things, air, water, land, are the components of the environment. So we should know about them. At the same time, we also know that the distribution of these natural resources is not even. They are not found equally all over the earth's surface, and also their quality is not the same. So if we have a clear concept, if we have some idea about the distribution and quality of the natural resources, we can definitely lead our life comfortably as well as healthily. That's the need to know about natural environment. Now, why should we protect our environment? As we already got that our life is dependent on the natural environment or the components of the natural environment, and some of the components like air, water, these things are freely available in the nature. We can use them without much modification, without any type of payment. At the same time, if we will misuse them, one day will come when all these types of resources will be contaminated, and it will create problem for human use. Also, the stock of some of the resources like the minerals, they are limited, and also it takes a long time for their formation. So if we will not stop to misuse them, one day will come when the stock of these resources will be finished, and will be deprived, our coming generations will be deprived of these valuable resources. And that's the need why we should always try to protect the environment. Now, how the human influence the environment? Human beings for our betterment, to make our life more comfortable, we use the natural resources. To some extent, we can say that we exploit the natural resources. For example, we need to cut the jungles, we cut the forest, we clear the forest or cut down the trees for making our houses, for making the roads, for making the factories, even for agricultural purposes. We destroy the vegetation cover. And I hope you know that plants, they provide us oxygen, and oxygen, it is the most important gas which all the living organisms need. So if we will continue to cut down the trees recklessly, the quantity of oxygen in the atmosphere will decrease, and that will be a problem for us. Next, we can say about the mineral resources. As I already stated, the stock of the mineral resources is not unlimited, it is limited, and also it takes a quite long time for the formation of the mineral resources. So if we misuse these natural resources, our coming generations, they will be deprived. They will not get the chance to use this valuable gift of nature, and that's why we should not misuse the resources. We should always try to protect them. Well, so as we got about environment, its importance, why we should study it, why we should protect it, and how we are influencing the environment. Now we are going to know about the different spheres, about the different zones of the environment. The environment can broadly be classified into 4 spheres: atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. One by one, we shall discuss about all these 4 types of spheres, how they are composed of, how they are important, and what we should do to protect all this. First of all, atmosphere. Atmosphere, it is the first zone or sphere of the environment, and it consists of air. As we know, from the Earth's surface, from the sea level up to the height of 1600 kilometers, a thin layer of air is there that envelops our Earth. This thin layer of air which envelops our Earth up to the height of 1600 kilometers, it is known as atmosphere. Atmosphere is composed of what? Already I told you, it is air. But air is what? In simple sense, we can say air is a mixture of gases. But in a broader sense, if we'll see about the composition of atmosphere, it is composed of mainly nitrogen. The quantity of nitrogen in the atmosphere is 78%. Next comes oxygen, which we need for breathing, and it occupies 21% of the atmosphere. Third one is argon. The quantity of it is 0.9%, and carbon dioxide 0.33%. Besides all these gases, dust particle, water vapors, microorganisms, pollen grains, all these things are also present in the atmosphere. Now, importance of atmosphere. Why the atmosphere is important? You know, oxygen is a life giver gas of the atmosphere, so we can say that atmosphere is important. Besides oxygen, it has got so many other importance. Like, if I'll go or proceed point wise, first one, atmosphere acts as a blanket or a glass house for the earth. You know that the solar heat, the solar rays, it hit the earth's surface, and the atmosphere, which is defined as a blanket or glass cover, it receives the solar radiation, but it does not allow the insulation to go back. As a result, the earth is always warm. That's the first point. Second point, as I already told you, that in the atmosphere, carbon dioxide and water vapor is there. You know, during daytime, because of sunlight, we feel warm or we feel hot, but during night we do not get the sun. But even during night we feel hot or warm. You may wonder how it is possible. It is because of the presence of water vapor and carbon dioxide. Because the water vapor and the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, it does not allow all the sun's rays to go back. It absorbs the heat and it radiates the heat during the night time. As a result, we feel warm even during night. If we think atmosphere is not there, if atmosphere would not have been there, the extreme of temperature between day and night will be too high. Day will be too hot and night will be too cold, which may again create problem for the living beings. So we can say atmosphere is important. Next importance is the sun's rays. It heat the atmosphere differently in different times, and because of this differential heat which heat the atmosphere or the layers of the atmosphere at different times, it creates circulation in the atmosphere, and because of this circulation we get the rainfall and the wind. So these all are the importance of the atmosphere. That's the first zone of the environment. Now comes the second sphere of the environment. It is about lithosphere. Lithosphere, actually lithos means rocks and sphere means zone. So lithosphere means the sphere of the environment which is mainly composed of rocks, soil, these all. And the thickness of the lithosphere, it is not same. Thickness on the ocean basins it will be light, on the continental basins it will be more. And if we will take out one average of the lithosphere, it is 100 kilometers. Lithosphere, it has got two layers. One is Ciel, another one is Sima. Ciel is the upper layer and Sima, it just lies below the Sima lies just below the Ciel. You can see from the picture it is given, it's clearly shown there. And you may wonder why the names are given Ciel and Sima. It is very simple. Ciel, this layer is consist of mainly two things. One is silica, another one is aluminium. So taking Si from silica and Al from aluminium, we get the name Ciel. And the lower layer, that is Sima, it has derived its name again from two components. One is silica Si and the second one is magnesium Ma. So we can say that Ciel, it is reaching silica and aluminium, and Sima, it is reaching silica and magnesium. That's the composition of lithosphere. Why the lithosphere is important? The first importance of lithosphere is it is very much important for the growth of the plants. You know that plants, they are the only food maker of the biodiversity. Among all the plants and animals, the green plants are only one who can make their food by themselves, and from them the other living beings, they derive their food directly or indirectly. So for the growth of the plants, lithosphere or land is important. It is also important for human settlement, for making our houses, for making bridges, for the construction of roads. This lithosphere is important. And the third one is lithosphere is the most important or the main source of the different types of minerals. Minerals like petroleum, you can say gold, silver, all these things were generally obtained from the lithosphere. Now we shall move to the third sphere, that is hydrosphere. Hydrosphere is a sphere or the zone of the environment which is mainly consist of water. Whenever we talk about water, we generally focus on the oceans or the rivers or the lakes, but it is not like that. Hydrosphere, it is consist of all the forms of water like snowfall, rainfall, water vapor, ponds, rivers, oceans, lakes, seas, all are parts of the hydrosphere. And we can say that about 71% of the Earth's surface or 2/3 of the Earth's surface, it is covered by water. Why the hydrosphere is important? Everybody knows what is the importance of water. Without it, no living being can survive. So water is important. Without it, form of life is not possible. And hydrosphere, it is the main source of rain, and it is also the chief cooling agent of the atmosphere. The hydrosphere, especially the rivers or the oceans or the seas, they also provide us food in the form of fish. The rivers, the water, oceans, the big lakes, the big canals, they also can be used for the means of transportation and navigation. So we can say hydrosphere is also quite important sphere of the environment. Now the last sphere of the environment, it is about biosphere. Biosphere is a combination, as we already got. Atmosphere is composed of air, lithosphere is composed of land, hydrosphere is composed of water. The last zone, the biosphere, it is a combination of all these three. That means biosphere is the zone of the environment which consists of parts of atmosphere, parts of lithosphere, as well as parts of biosphere. And remember, all the living beings, right from the microorganism till all, including human beings, plants, animals, everything, all the living beings we can find only in the biosphere. Importance. Why the biosphere is important? You know, in our solar system, 8 planets are there, and till now, among all these 8 planets, life is possible only on the Earth. And life has become possible on the Earth because of mainly 3 things: water, land, and air. And all these 3 are present on the Earth's surface, and their combination, biosphere, it is a part of our environment. So we can say biosphere is very much important. It makes our Earth planet different from all the other planets, because life does not exist on the other planets. It is found only on our Earth, and that is also because of the presence of biosphere. So we can say that biosphere is important. Biosphere, it makes life possible for millions of beings, organisms, both plants as well as animals. So these are the different spheres of the environment. I'm going to show you some pictures. From these pictures you can easily understand what is atmosphere, what is hydrosphere, what is lithosphere, what is biosphere. Now you can easily understand about the atmosphere, about the lithosphere, about the hydrosphere, and of course about the biosphere from this figure. You can see, if we will consider this is the Earth's surface. As you already know, we are living outside the Earth, not inside the Earth. So from the Earth's surface, or you can say from the sea level, if you consider the sea level or the Earth's surface, from here up to the height of 1600 kilometers, up to 1600 kilometers, the thin layer of air is there, and that is known as atmosphere. So we can say that atmosphere, it is a layer of air which envelops the Earth's surface up to the height of 1600 kilometers. That is known as atmosphere. Next, it comes about lithosphere. As I already told you, lithosphere is a sphere of the Earth which is comprised of mainly the rocks, soil, these all. And it is, you can see, it is the inner side. On the outer side you can find out the atmosphere, and in the inner part you can see inner side of the Earth's surface, that is composed of lithosphere. And the lithosphere, it is comprised of 2 layers. The upper layer is known as Ciel, and the lower level it is known as Sima. Ciel, it is composed of 2 materials. One is silica, second one is aluminium. So it derives its name from these 2 components. You can see here Si from silica and Al from aluminium. That comes Ciel. Next one is Sima. It is composed of again 2 materials. One is silica and another one is magnesium. It also derives its name from this Si and Ma, that is magnesium. So Ciel is the upper layer and Sima is the lower layer of lithosphere. Ciel is composed of silica and aluminium, and Sima, it is composed of silica and magnesium. This is the second sphere. Now the third sphere is, it is about hydrosphere. Hydrosphere, as I already told you, it is composed of all the forms of water. Water, you know, it is found in the ocean, water is found in the river, water is found in the lakes, water is there in the rainfall, snowfall. These all different forms of water, it comes under hydrosphere. So we can say that hydrosphere is a zone of the Earth which is comprised of all the different forms of water. So now you can see atmosphere. Atmosphere, it is composed of only air. Lithosphere, it is comprised of land, and hydrosphere is comprised of water. Now the last sphere of the earth, that is the part of, we can say, atmosphere, parts of lithosphere and parts of hydrosphere. Some portion of atmosphere, some portion of lithosphere and some portion of hydrosphere, that is known as biosphere. So we can say the definition of biosphere is it is composed of parts of atmosphere, parts of lithosphere and parts of hydrosphere, and we can say all the living beings, right from microorganisms till the multicellular organisms like human being and the other animals, all the living things, they live only in the biosphere. So that's about all the different types of zones or the spheres of the environment: atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and the combination of all these three that comes as biosphere. Well, till now we discussed about environment, about natural environment, about biological environment. We studied also about the different spheres of the environment, their composition as well as their importance. Now, the last portion of the chapter is why our Earth is called a unique planet. As I already told you, in the solar system, total 8 planets are there, and among all these 8 planets, our Earth is totally unique. It is totally different from the other planets. Why is it? Why it is like that? The first, or in very simple sense, we can say it is because of the presence of biosphere. But it is not only the biosphere that makes our Earth a unique planet. Different reasons are there. We shall try to understand one by one. The first point is about distance. You know, all the planets in the solar system, they revolve around the sun according to their own path, which is known as the orbit. And as you also know, the distance of all the planets from the sun is not same, it is not equal. The distance of the first planet, Mercury, from the sun, it is 48.041 million kilometers. And if we will take the last planet in the solar system, Neptune, the distance is 4.4765 billion kilometers from the sun. Now, if we will see the distance of the Earth from the sun, it is 151.87 million kilometers. So, we can say the distance of the Earth from the sun, it is neither too close to the sun nor too far away from the sun. It is situated in such a place which is best suited for the development of all the different forms of life on the Earth. First point. Now comes second point. As we already got that our Earth is a habitable planet. All the different types of plants, animals, insects, microorganisms, in short we can say all the living beings, they can live and they can develop only on the Earth, not in the other planets. That's the second reason why our Earth is known as the unique planets, because it is one habitable planet. The third one is atmosphere. It is because of atmosphere. As we got in the composition of atmosphere, atmosphere is composed of different types of gases, and among all these gases, oxygen, which is present in our Earth to in an adequate amount, 21% approx in the atmosphere, it makes life possible on the Earth. In the absence of oxygen, it would not have been possible for the existence of life. So we can say that it is because of atmosphere, which is rich in oxygen, life is possible on Earth, and our Earth is unique. The next point is, it is because of the hydrosphere. Hydrosphere, as we got, it is composed of the different types of water bodies, and water is quite essential for the existence of life, and that's why the Earth is unique, because of presence of hydrosphere. The last importance, if we will say, it is about the temperature. The Mercury, if we will consider about the planet Mercury, it is too close to the sun, and the temperature is also too high. It's approx 430 degrees Celsius. And if we will consider about the case of Neptune, which is too far away from the sun, the temperature of Neptune is approximately minus 200 degrees Celsius. too cold, but the mean temperature of our earth is 15 degrees Celsius. It is neither too hot nor too cold, which is the best for the existence of the different forms of life, and that's why we can say that our earth is totally unique or different from all the other planets. So that's all about this first chapter. I have tried to go through the important points, but as you know, to explain in the class in front of you all and to explain in the video, it's quite different things. So after listening to the explanation, it is a must for every one of you to go through the chapter. You read the chapter once, twice, thrice, how many times you can read the chapter. You underline the important points, and if any difficulty is there, if you cannot understand any point, if you cannot understand any topic, any terms, you can get it cleared from me. And after reading the chapter, underline the points. If doubt is there, get it cleared from me. And now I'm going to give you some homeworks. These homeworks also you have to complete in time, and you have to send it in time. Thank you.